Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
Chong, award-winning actor, comedian. Tommy Chong and, of course, Cheech are about to go on a big tour with their comedy routine. Hope you support them. There's a sealed indictment with the raid on the makers of the film, a.k.a. Tommy Chong. The prisons, the whole culture, the police military culture has gone completely criminal. They're now hiring felons, illegal aliens. It's a total shift into bedlam. And the criminality's taking over, and they're not going to stop. It's just going to grow and grow like a staph infection, like a flesh-eating bacteria, racing through the body politic. Tommy, you talked about how they kept trying to set you up in prison, too.
Yeah, I was offered pot almost daily, and I was in there, I guess I was in there for about 2 weeks. And then a guy come up that I made friends with, and he showed me a joint. But luckily, I was with this old, convict that had been down many times, and he was sort of like my mentor. He was kind of hanging with me and making sure that I didn't get into trouble. And when he saw that, he told the guy to take off in so many words, But I got, and then right after I got offered, they brought me up to the control area, and they drug tested me because they really were hoping or expecting me to violate the prison rules by smoking up. They think, I guess they thought I was some kind of drug addict or something.
Tommy Chong, I've got to tell you, I'm surprised that they didn't just plant somebody else's urine and say it was yours, because, I use the examples of Houston, Dallas, Chicago, but I use the Dallas one a lot. Did you hear about a few years ago they pulled over thousands of nice cars? They'd throw chalk in the back and just take the car? I mean, that's criminal. And then the whole department was involved. I mean, this is scary, and they would certify the chalk as cocaine.
Yeah.
I mean, that is ruthless, hardcore crime. I mean, that's
let me tell you, the probably the worst I've ever heard. It was in the prison that I was in. It was in Taft, California, and the main prison. What they had a couple of illegal aliens in there, and they had them in there for a couple of years until the illegal aliens learned how to speak enough English to tell their story. And their story was this: they were outside a Home Depot looking for casual work, day work, and the federal DEA guys came down and grabbed a couple of guys and said, took them to an area, had them change into suit clothes, nice clothes, and then they give them a bag of cocaine to pose with a picture, and then they arrested them.
God,
and
the
charged
government.
them with dealing cocaine.
Yeah, in fact, Dallas, it started, they said, 10 years ago with the illegals, and they moved on to everybody else because they know they can't defend themselves. You're absolutely right. And it's because they can't bust the real drug dealers because the government ships it in and gets a cut. So they've got to go bust innocent people.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they did. And that's the dangerous part. And the other thing I heard, when I was in jail, I made friends with another lawyer from down south, down Mexico way, even further down. I forget exactly which country he was in. Colombia. He was from Colombia, and he's telling me about this plane. The DEA flies in and out of Colombia every day, and it never gets searched. It's who's going to search a DEA plane? And they pick up loads of cocaine and drop it from Colombia, fly it right into America.
Well, they just had a few months ago 4,000 tons of pure cocaine in a CIA-owned aircraft that was doing rendition torture flights crashed in Mexico filled with cocaine.
Oh yeah, one of those crash. Yeah, well then that's the plane. I don't know if it's the DEA, CIA, or who it is. but the guy, he's seen it.
Well, there's a whole bunch of them. I mean, it's like major deliveries.
Yeah.
I mean, how do the police feel good taking kids to jail for a joint when they know the government brings the smack and coke in?
Well, that's the whole point. That's the whole point of a criminal mind. You see, that's one thing you have to be very careful with. Like, if you tell one lie or you steal, shoplift one little item, you enter a world of criminality. That all it is a matter of scope. How big is it going to be? You're going to steal, like rob candy from a baby, or you're going to rob a bank.
Stay there, Tommy Chong. Stay with us. Cocaine and heroin alone are over $300 billion a year in the United States alone. Same government pushes Ritalin, Prozac, just as serious, just as poisonous, or more so on the kids. And when you see a real drug war, that is the U.S. government and others waging war on the smaller drug cartels that they don't control. And that's what you're seeing on the Mexican border with the United States right now. And we've had CIA, DEA, FBI retired on. They've all been caught. It's all admitted. Tommy Chong is our guest. We'll fire out some websites. I've consulted on the film AmericanDrugWar.com. It's not available in stores for another 3 days. We've had it for a month because I'm a consultant on it and in the extras. 3 hours of extras in the film, 2-hour film. It's a big blockbuster on Showtime. The DVD is available at Infowars.com or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139, 888-253-3139. Kevin Booth's going to be riding shotgun with us coming up in about 10-15 minutes. He'll be with us into the next hour. Tommy Chong will be with us coming up until about 5 after next hour. Tommy, fire out, a.k.a. Tommy Chong. Tell folks about the film that's being suppressed. Tell folks about your different websites, your different groups, what people should visit, and then let's get into the latest saga in the Big Brother Jack Boots.
Well, the a.k.a. Tommy Chong is available on that website, aka.TommyChong.com, and we grabbed Spectrum Labs. They busted Spectrum Labs, a drug testing company, and they grabbed, I don't know how many DVDs, thousands. I'm not sure, because the feds won't even tell us why they're busting the labs. This is a sealed indictment, whatever that means. And but you can get it at aka.TommyChong.com. We were on Amazon. I don't know. I think the feds took it off Amazon or whatever. I'm not sure, but one of the reasons they don't want you to see it is the Attorney General or the prosecuting attorney that's went after me, Mary Beth Buchanan. She's featured prominently in the film, and she probably has the funniest line in the film. She gets the biggest laugh, when she starts explaining to the press how a bong works. I mean, it's pretty ludicrous and pretty funny. Yeah, it's great. But I was told, when they sentenced me, that I'm not to profit from my crime in any way. Don't make any movies, don't do anything. And my lawyer said, well, they can't tell you not to make a living. And you make a living doing movies. But still in all, I still don't trust these people. So I don't have any interest in the film, monetary interest at all. I'm just, I just want my story to get out.
Well, Tommy, that's your First Amendment right. Let's, and I love that line you said on local news when they raided the place and they reported 10,000 DVDs, most of the ones you guys had printed or that separate company had, and they had you say, oh, no, I'm not profiting from my First Amendment being suppressed.
That's exactly it. No, I'm not profiting at all in that one.
Well, talk about a conflict of interest. Talk about jackbooted right out of Nazi Germany or Soviet Russia. She has had them raid the very film she's the villain in. I mean, This is unbelievable.
Isn't that something? Yeah, she's quite a loose cannon, Mary Beth Loose Cannon. But she's on the, she's just the talking head for the Bush administration and the Gonzales era, And the Ashcroft, all these guys. They even made Ashcroft back off, or quit because they got so ridiculous, so far
I was
out.
talking to a well-known rock star. That's all I'm going to say. I better not even tell the story. It doesn't even matter. Let's just say this. I can't tell the story. I mean, Gonzalez is just unbelievable. That's all I'm going to say. These people are such hypocrites. Yeah,
that's the best, the working word. It goes beyond that. They're evil. I mean, they're into the. You have to start believing that these people are the enemy. They are the people that they're supposed to we're fighting against. Because you have to think about this. Why don't they have Bin Laden? Why haven't they captured him? This most powerful nation on earth. And we don't have the people to go in and find this guy and take him out.